Welcome to another Kings of War Battle Report. Army Swap! Salamanders versus the Kingdoms of Men. Salt the Earth. So after playing my first game with Salamanders, I did make a slight change to the list, which is allowed in our format. What I did was just swap out the cavalry for a unit of Scorch Wings, and you know, part of what we do when we modify these things is, since we don't know what the other guy's list is, the second game, you can modify your list up to about 10% of the points. Maybe it's more than that. But all I did was swap out even for even. So I swapped out the cavalry for a unit of Scorch Wings. I also used the extra points for on the one of the hordes of Salamander Primes. I gave them the Fury item, and you're going to see that was a big good decision that I made during this game to give them that item. So for my list, I had 2 hordes of Salamander Primes. Like I said, one had the Fury item, a regiment of Ancients, 2 hordes of Tyrants, one with Striding and the other one with the Brew of Sharpness, a unit of Scorch Wings, 2 Lichelidons, the Phoenix, a Herald with the ASB with Loot, a Mage Priest with Heal 3 and the Shroud. He also has standard, I think, Fireball 10. A Clan Lord on Fire Drake with the Blessing of the Gods. Since we are doing Army Swap, Craig is using my Kingdoms of Men army. He starts out with 2 hordes of Foot Guard, one with the Chant of Hate, which gives them Vicious, and one with Blessing of the Gods, which gives them Elite. 4 regiments of Pikemen, 2 troops of Fanatics, 1 regiment of Fanatics with the Potion of the Caterpillar, which I don't think we used during the game, because I'm pretty sure I should have taken way more damage from the charge from those Fanatics. So sometimes if I don't have a list, I can't remind. I just didn't know he even had the item, or I would have reminded him. 2 generals on Winged Beast, one with Blade of Slashing, one with Mace of Crushing, an ASB with Loot, mounted, an Assassin with the Wings of Honey Maze, the Captain, mounted, a Pegasus hero, and finally a hero on a horse. Unlike last time that I played, this time I think I pretty much get a good deployment with the terrain. I started down here on the left flank. He had 3 flyers, and so I just tried to negate them. I'm not really trying, and I have 3 flyers, so I was trying to at least counter them. So I started out with my dragon down here on the end. Then I had a unit of Tyrants. These are the ones with Striding. Then both Lichelidons make a little battery for me there. And then my unit of Tyrants with the Brew of Sharpness was on the hill. They're just going to try to dominate the middle. Then my first unit of Salamander Primes. In between them and behind the impassable level 1 terrain, I put the Scorch Wings. That way they could either charge out over that, or they could shoot with their attack. On the end, I had another unit of Salamander Primes. And on the very end, I had my unit of Ancients. That was actually just to provide some inspiring for that end of the table. The key thing is the Salamander Prime unit here in the closest one is the one that had the Fury item, and that is going to be so instrumental during this game, because last game I had my Salamander Prime unit. I just kept getting wavered, and it was just so frustrating. So I think that'll help this game. So for Craig's deployment, he put 2 units of pikemen with one of the generals on Winged Beast right between them. And behind them, he had the Foot Guard. I think he does a better job of using Foot Guard than I do. I lose them every game, it seems like. So I think his way might be better, the little battalion type thing, as opposed to what I do, which obviously doesn't seem to work. In the middle, he had a Pegasus, and I think it was all of the Fanatics were right there in the middle. And then on the end, basically almost the same thing. 2 units of pikemen and another unit of Foot Guard, and yet another a general on Winged Beast over there. So, like I said, I like his setup probably better than what mine does, because I just tend to, I don't know what it's been lately. I haven't really figured it out. I just want to say, normally I have 3 or 4 flyers, and Craig, he's went down to just 3, but he put the Captain in the list, and that gives him a little bit more morale for his foot troops. And I think he gave magic items to both units of Foot Guard as well. So saving some points by not having that other general on wing beast lets you, it opens up some other possibilities for you. So I won the roll, and Craig took the first turn, so he moves forward, as you can see, kind of all the way across the table. Over here on the left, he was angling both units of pikemen to obviously prevent my tyrants from doing nasty things to his army. So without any shooting, his first turn just blazed by. In the middle, he pushed forward with all those fanatics, and I probably made a mistake not shifting a step over to shoot them, because they're very vulnerable to being shot. But basically, this whole army is, the highest armor in it is the heroes at 5. Most everything else is 4 or 3. So shooting really does a pretty good job on hacking that human army up. So I went ahead and nimble moved the dragon back behind the Lechilodons, and the reason why is I figured that he would charge one of the Lechilodons with his general on wing beast, and so I just wanted to be able to countercharge and kill him if he did. Both units of tyrants moved up to within range to mess with him. In the middle, the closest Salamander Prime unit moved toward that middle objective. This turn, I burned all the objectives on my side of the table. This was my strategy, which is I'm going to attack, I'm going to get to the other side of the table, and if he don't destroy his, the whole fight's going to be for the middle. That was my strategy this game, and we'll see how that works out. But I did not move the Scorchwings forward. I don't know why. It became kind of stupid. I thought maybe the Pegasus could get me, but then I realized that parking behind that impassable terrain where the dice is, he couldn't charge me no matter if he wanted to. So kind of a mistake, but probably not that big a deal, not that big an effect on the game, because the next turn I instantly do it. I moved up over on the right side fairly aggressively with the Ancients, because they're fairly sturdy, since they have armor 6. So yeah, Craig moved up both of his units of pikemen on this flank parallel, just so we could fight a one-on-one battle there, I guess. The other 2 units of fanatics moved into the difficult terrain and toward that middle objective. See, I had to figure out, because of what my strategy was, I had to be aggressive moving forward. So I couldn't just sit back and rest on my laurels, because all he had to do was sit back there and hold them to win the game. So my thought was to that I will be pushing forward as quickly as possible, and of course his job is to keep me from doing so. So over here, he moved a unit of pikemen up and kind of angled them to menace my tyrants, just in case I charged forward there. His general on wing beast moved over behind the impassable terrain, and the Pegasus moved over. He had a plan in mind. I didn't know what it was, but it's starting to look creepy to me. But anyway, so he's moved himself over in that position. The fanatics are ready to go. And so it's time for my turn to see what I can do mean to him. So down on this end of the table, I actually side moved the tyrants, because now I've decided I'm going to try to go around the hill and threaten his flank. The ones on the hill, I was just really baiting him into charging me, because I was pretty sure I wouldn't die, and then at the same time I would slaughter whatever charged me. The Salamander Primes, the ones with the Fury, they moved up into the edge of the rough terrain. And what I was hoping is to provoke a charge from the fanatics and then kill them. The deal is that he's going to have to make hindered charges, and so I was just I didn't want to make hindered charges. My guys hit on 4s; they're bad enough as it is. So I didn't want to charge. I wanted to just try to be able to hold the charge. And then over on the right flank, the Salamander Primes moved forward, trying to provoke a charge there, and the Ancients moved up to support them. This time I did move the Scorchwings up, and I think I did some shooting this turn. It wasn't terribly effective. The Scorchwing, the Phoenix, everything, I think put 5 wounds on the unit of fanatics, the regiment of fanatics, which, like I said, a little disappointing, but probably exactly average when considering I'm shooting into cover. And then his other unit of pikemen here on this end that's over next to the impassable terrain, I think I got them up to 8 with the Lechilodons and stuff, but I just could not roll the dice to make them run. You can see down here the Ancients moving up. I probably could have moved, but Ancients are slow, and so I was just kind of having a hard time getting them where I wanted them. maybe I should have put something else down here, or maybe replace the ancients with something that at least more speed of the salamander prime. Maybe even just young bloods with something. I don't know, but I don't have a good grasp of the use of these ancients just because of their speed. That probably should have been. It should have been exactly the opposite deploy. They should have been in the middle next to that impassable train, and the salamander prime's been on this end. I think that would have worked out. So problem was not the ancients. The problem was the general. So if you play Craig, one thing you learned is there's no dancing around. If there's a chance to charge, he's going to take it. So he quadruple charged my unit of salamander primes. The thing is that every bit of it was hindered except for the general on winged beast, and he only did 6 wounds despite the triple charge. And so I was pretty happy to hold out this turn with what was going on there. And so that'll let me next turn maybe do some retribution and get rid of some of his units. So yeah, he did the same thing in the middle, charging in with both units of fanatics, but they were hindered, and then the general on winged beast. They did a lot better though, and put they got that unit up to wavered, which was tragic. But like I said, I had the fury item on it, so I have a chance to strike back this turn. Over on his far right, all he could really do is move around a little bit because I had the dragon and 2 units of tyrants over there. Plus the Lakelodon was shooting him up pretty good at that point. So you can see here in the middle, I took a lot of damage from. I mean, you consider I'm armor 5, and he's hindered. I took 15 freaking wounds from that charge. The good thing is I have a Phoenix there and the Mage Priest with heal, so I should be able to get some of that back and maybe live to fight another turn. So yeah, he had also charged his Pegasus into my tyrants there and did 3 wounds to them as well. So over here on the right, I simply countercharged the fanatics. Probably should have countercharged the general, but I just didn't think I would do enough damage to keep him in place. So I went ahead and charged and killed the fanatics. Got a die 3 sidestep for my result, and moved over so I could keep from being flank charged by the pikemen. But I was still going to get subjected to 30-something pike shots a turn on that side. All right, here in the middle, what I did was countercharge the middle unit of fanatics. I did a measly 5 wounds, 25 swings for 4s and 2s, and did 5 wounds. Yes, that was how my dice tended to be going this game. The good thing is that I used the Scorch Wings and the Phoenix and breathed fire and killed that other unit of fanatics. But really what should have happened was that, all the fanatics should have been gone in this turn. As you can see, I did move my dragon over so I could angle in and maybe attack hit the pikemen fighting my other unit of salamander primes, and or be able to maybe start going toward the last objective. Right now, there's 2 left on his side of the table, and I've got to get there somehow. And now he's jammed me up, which is an excellent, excellent thing to do. And it's going to be hard for me to get across that table to get that objective away, those 2 objectives away from him. Now, I may have kind of shot myself in the foot with the objective thing. So over here, the tyrants did slaughter the Pegasus and angled. I don't know why I angled. There was no point in angling. It was stupid. I should have just kept facing straight ahead. The tyrants on this end moved up to angle, look down the line, so in case I need to move that direction quick or to prevent the foot guard from doing stuff. So not really well thought out here on this end as far as what I did. Like I said, the tyrants, there was no reason they should have angled, because the next turn they could have charged and killed one of those units of pikemen if I hadn't done that. So Craig did something I didn't really predict after he charged those units in, and this is something that I had talked about doing and never occurred to me to actually do it. He just jumped the 2 generals on winged beast over after the fight, because I probably should have countercharged into them to keep them from doing that, but I was way more scared of all the swings from the fanatics and stuff like that than I was from the 7 swings of the general on winged beast. So anyway, he did a great job of jumping over my army, and now I am in trouble because all of his stuff. I'm literally in a rock and hard place. His pikeman moved over a little bit. His foot guard moved toward the middle because we're getting to that point of the game where we need to get to these objectives here and try to win this game. And so he's moving his foot guard toward the middle, his middle objective. If you see it, it's kind of up there. It's this big red dot. And he's got the objective over on the far, which would be my far right, but his far left. He's got it. And now because I've done the burning thing, I have to get rid of at least one of them to even get to a draw. So the pressure's back on me, and now I've got guys behind me and guys in front of me. So that ain't good. I did manage to survive the fanatics in the front of my SARS Prime, maybe not SARS Prime, I don't know what they're called, primes, but he did just rolled amazing. I think he did 8 more wounds to me, and that was after, so that got me back up to like 15 again after I'd healed all of them. So I was in definitely bad shape everywhere. All of my prime units were in trouble as far as damage. Here you can see the pikeman had got my guys up to 12 wounds, which is a good roll. I mean, you're rolling for 4s and 5s, and that's not a high chance of success, but that was some good rolling there. And so that unit's definitely teetering on the brink of disaster. Over here, the fanatics that had survived the 25 swings for 4s and anything buts got my prime unit over there back up to 15, I think. And so, like I said, both of these units are in trouble, and now they've got 2 generals on winged beasts behind them, which ain't going to be good. So I decided to rescue my unit there. Not really sure why I did that, especially with this guys behind me. So I went ahead and charged into the flank of one of his units of pikemen and probably going to slaughter them. I mean, it's 30 swings. And I had Blessing of the Gods on the dragon. So they're probably not long for this world. And I think maybe trying to rescue them was kind of a futile gesture anyway because of all the stuff there. But it seemed like the right decision at the time. So I did charge in there and kill that unit of pikemen on the left. But I still had other problems, as they say. So here what I did was, what I was hoping to do was to countercharge the fanatics and kill them, and then flip around toward his general on winged beast. What I did do was back up my Phoenix and my ASB and my Mage Priest so I wouldn't get charged, make an easy charge for the general on winged beast into the rear. So I think that was probably a decent move to get the hell out of Dodge there because I mean, there was no way that I was going to that I could survive that general on winged beast charging into me. So during my turn, I went ahead and moved the Scorch Wings over to grab that middle objective and burn it. So now I was just down to the one here that's next to these foot guard, and of course the one in the very, very middle. And so I know it was a suicide attack to do that because he has other foot guard coming at me. Really can't do much about it. I mean, it's probably was not a good charge. I mean, not a good move. But like I said, I'm trying to pressure. I'm trying to win the scenario, not really trying to win the war as far as trying to beat units down. So I think it was probably worth the thing to get it down where I only really needed to get to one, because now, like you could see my dragon could line up and come up here and potentially get that one, because what you don't see off to my left is my ancients moving in on that unit as well. Here's just a picture from the other side of the table. You could see that that I'm about to countercharge into the unit of fanatics there. The guy you see next to the objective is his captain. He's supposed to be mounted, and neither one of us really caught it that he was supposed to be mounted. So I don't think he was actually on a horse until the very end of the game when Craig looked down at his list, which was kind of funny. The Salamanders moved up to threaten the flank of his foot guard. Not Salamanders, I'm sorry. The Tyrants moved up to threaten the flank of his foot guard that was coming up there, and just kind of do some menacing, just try to slow the inexorable march toward the other side of the table. You can see here now the Tyrants have boldly moved forward to threaten the flank of the pikeman and the flank of the foot guard. He still has his hero hero on a horse out there ready to intervene somewhere to help out, either maybe charge the Chelidons or charge into the tyrants to keep them from charging. So that guy's, to me, is I'm almost always an MVP of every game I use him in. So we'll have to see what happens in Craig's turn. Yeah, the dragon easily killed the unit of pikemen and then started turning to aim toward the token. So now the unit is actually kind of the foot guard unit is actually kind of in trouble, because you see there's a unit of Scorchwings on its left, the dragons in its front, and then the ancients are coming into position up on top of the hill. So I was in a good position to threaten for that token, so he's going to have to do something quick to fix that. Yes, this time I finally killed that stupid little troop of fanatics and turned the Sars Prime unit toward the two Griffins. I were two Generals on Winged Beast. I was in serious trouble here, because just like where he is over on that side, there was stuff in front of me, stuff behind me, and it was all pretty tragic. So Craig slams both Generals on Winged Beast into my very injured unit. Excuse me, of primes. I've been healing them back, though, so they weren't quite as helpless as you would think. So that was a good thing. And over here, the captain went ahead and charged into my dragon to ground him. You can also see that the pikemen did a great job and finished off my unit of primes there. The up on top of the hill, the foot guard made a hindered charge into the ancients, but the ASB is there to give them Bane Chant. So I am not in good shape there. The Scorchwings got charged by the assassin who's been lingering around the whole game, and that's going to trap me with my back to the unit of foot guard. I was hoping actually to kill the assassin and move forward, maybe get out of their range, but pretty sure that didn't happen. So, but anyway, they did their job. They got that token. They're looking right at the token now. If they happen to kill the assassin, they'll easily get it. There's nothing he can do about it. It's just dice have to roll to see what's going to happen this turn. And I'm pretty sure what happens when both Griffins hit me. I mean, both Generals on Winged Beast. I think they do 10 wounds, and then Craig rolls crap for dice. I mean, junk, like 3. And my unit was wavered yet again. But guess what? They still have that Fury item, so they're going to actually get to go right back into action here. And I really thought I had the game wrapped up right here, but it comes down to the last dice roll. I'm just going to say, don't turn away, because the best is yet to come. So over here, he suicide charged the hero on a horse into my tyrants, and believe it or not, rolled boxcars. And they had 4 wounds on them, so that was 16. They're unbreakable 17. I was so freaking lucky. I just knew I was about to lose my bowels over that one. The pikeman went ahead and charged into one of my Lachelidons and then turned up to face the hill toward the tyrants that were going to charge down next turn. And the other Lachelidon's going to get them in the flank. We were talking about maybe that I needed to clip the wall, but I have the striding thing, so I just pop it, and I'll be able to charge into the pikeman without being hindered. So that's going to be good. If there's such things good as charging pikemen, but with 30 attacks, it's a whole lot easier than most units have to deal with them. So my dragon really needed to kill that captain, and got him up to 8 wounds. But then it was my turn to roll Snake Eyes, and there I am with that unit of pikemen in my rear. Dice were really, I'm not saying it was just mine, because his dice were sucking every bit as bad as my dice were sucking, okay? I know I whine about dice a lot more, but I know for a fact his dice were sucking every bit as bad as mine were. And it was just going back and forth and how much suckage could happen. So, now my dragon's kind of screwed. And you can see that his foot guard I did not kill the assassin. Rolled poorly, and then the foot guard charged them in the rear. I should have just turned toward the foot guard, but either way, I was dead. I mean, foot guard will slaughter those Scorchwings. Down here, the what happened was I ended up charging the Phoenix in the rear of one of his generals on Wing Beast and killed him. And then that left the other one left. And so then I moved the Tyrants up there to threaten him and to get unit strength 3 to the middle of the table. So we're coming down to the wire, and it is tense. So up here on the hill, it gets even more tense. He does a lot of wounds. He does really, really well and just beats the crap out of the Ancients. But it was his turn to roll Snake Eyes, and so now he's in trouble because I think his plan was to kill them and then start backing or turning toward getting that objective. So now he's just as much trouble as I am as far as trying to get to the objectives. So it was going crazy. This whole game was crazy. Like I said, there was 2 Snake Eyes that were key, one for my dragon and one for his there. But I think his hurt him way more than mine hurt me. So anyway, we'll just have to see what happens. There's only 1 turn left. So here it is. I am in way deep doo-doo. The unit of Foot Guard turned and started coming back toward the objective. I had to put the Tyrants over there. I rushed everything that had unit strength into that spot just to see if nothing else I could get a draw out of it. But the fact is, if there was going to be a turn 7, I was so hosed because you could see that he has his pikemen there. He'd killed the dragon. Now they're headed toward which was the key of why I didn't want to roll Snake Eyes for that. Now that they're there, they can move in and add unit strength. His remaining general on Winged Beast makes a mad dash for the other token because there's nobody within 3 inches of it to score. So this is going to go down to the wire. It basically comes down to if there's going to be a turn 7 or not. And we rolled, and there was no turn 7. Win to the Salamanders. You gotta have friends. I was finishing recording something. I was just singing a Gotta Have Friends song for them because, you know, they enjoy it. Oh. So this game, my MVP was the Chalice of Wrath. I would have lost the game twice over without having that magic item to help me out. Now, even though I had it and I got to roll some attacks on stuff, I didn't roll all that well, which kind of pissed me off. But not the point. The point is I actually had a chance to. Otherwise, I would have just had to sit there and take it. So kudos to the Chalice of Wrath. And I also think that swapping out the get rid of the cavalry unit for the Scorchwings was also instrumental in the game. Scorchwings helped with some of their missile fire, and then they went up and destroyed that objective. Yeah, they got slaughtered, but they did their job. You know, it was worth every point that I spent on that unit. And I think that if I had to do it again, I would do the same thing. The rest of the army, I mean, it performed pretty well last game. Ended up with a draw, so I was pretty happy. In this game, it did well. I mean, Craig really surprised me with his all-out assault on turn 2, and it shouldn't surprise me. I've played him 100,000 times, and I know he's going to charge, but he does such a good job double and triple charging things. In one place, quadruple charged one, but I felt pretty good about his effort that I could survive because of all the hindered charges he was having to take, because the center of the table was just choked with terrain. And I thought maybe that would help me survive through a turn, and it did for a while. But in the end, I was just overwhelmed by the flyers that jumped behind my army. That was such a good move, so good of a move that there was nothing I could really do about it. So kudos to Craig. The only reason that this game ended the way it did was because there was a turn 7, and I have to admit that both of our dice rolls were just god-awful at times. Craig had that horrible Snake Eyes up on the hill fighting my Ancients, and all he had to do, if he'd had it, he could have just backed down and taken that objective, and the worst outcome he would have had was a draw. The same thing, if there would have been a turn 7, I was hosed. There was no way in hell that I was gonna, because it wasn't like anything I could charge to kill before I got there. I mean, I was already kind of in a bad situation, and so basically the game came down to flipping a coin, which I guess that's a good game, but it's too damn stressful for me. I'd rather just lose early and go on than to have to come down to the very end like that. But anyway, it was a great game with Craig. Always is. Very tight. I mean, I thought it's just one of those stupid games where you think, well, I got this wrapped up because I could do this, 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 and this. And then the dice just say, oh, no, you thought you had it wrapped up. They just kind of put you back in your place. And so, like I said, it was so near. It was a great game and a great finish. So anyway, kudos to Craig for the game. I'll be gone for a while between some health things that are going on and the fact that I'm going off to do my redneck stuff for a couple of weeks. And so hopefully I'll come back in maybe May sometime with the next battle report. Thank you for watching.